Hello all. See, UPSC Prelims is approaching and I am seeing that a lot of students are confused in the exchange rate topic. A very important topic, and previous year also UPSC has asked question on this topic. So I just wanted to give certain clarifications on this exchange rate, because there are certain content which is floating in a different mode. The standard taken is different. So this is creating confusion that how we should deal with the questions related to exchange rate. So let us understand about the different exchange rates and its concept and what is the standard taken. And you will have to follow that standard if you want to mark your questions correct, right? Now, suppose this exchange rate is $1 is equal to rupees 80, right? This is nominal exchange rate and you all must be knowing. Now there are two ways of expressing this exchange rate. One is you can write this as rupees 80 per dollar, right? And the other way, so this is one way of writing. The other way is you can write dollar 1 by 80 per rupees, right? So rupees 80 per dollar and 1 by 80 dollar per rupees, or you can calculate it as $0.0125 per rupee. Both way are correct. You can express either this or that, but RBI follows a particular standard. RBI follows this standard. That means foreign currency with respect to domestic currency, dollar with respect to rupees. Now try to understand. If I say that a rupee is appreciating, when I say rupee is appreciating, either you take this or this, it will not make any difference. Because if I say rupee is depreciating, that means this is moving to 60. Here, if I say rupee is depreciating, that means this number will reduce. So you can, if I say rupee is depreciating, you can take this or that and you can know that whether the number will move. But if I say India's nominal exchange rate is increasing, then you must know that what is the standard. Because if this increases, it means something else. If this increases, it means something else. So whenever the word appreciation or depreciation is used, you take any of these formats, it will not make any difference. But when we are using the word increase or decrease, then you will have to take a particular standard, because increase of nominal exchange rate here will mean depreciation and increase of nominal exchange rate here will mean appreciation. So which format you have taken, that is important. Now RBI follows this standard. So everywhere will take this because this is the standard. So if RBI says that rupees nominal exchange rate is increasing, so if I say it is increasing, we have to take this, and here increase means rupee is appreciation, right? So let us understand the three exchange rates. Now, as I said, that the standard is abroad with respect to domestic, foreign with respect to domestic. So nominal exchange rate, which is presently rupees 80 equivalent to $1. So we have to write it as abroad with respect to domestic. That means number of dollars per rupee. Number of dollars is 1 by 80 per rupees. In this way, we will write this is equivalent to $0.0125 per rupees. Fine, this is our exchange rate. So we need to mention nominal exchange rate as foreign currency with respect to domestic currency. How many dollars per rupees? So when you exchange in the market, if you will give 1 rupee, you will get $0.0125. This is the meaning of nominal exchange rate. Fine. Now second is PPP exchange rate, purchasing power parity. PPP exchange rate. PPP exchange rate means if some commodity you can purchase in India in some X rupees, if a particular basket of commodities in India you can purchase in X rupees. Let me just explain you with an example. If this is India and this is US. Now here you took a basket of commodities here. Now you have to take the same basket here. The basket should be same. Now if here the price is rupees 20,000 and here the same commodities are costing $1,000. That means whatever you can purchase in rupees 20,000 in India, the same item, the same basket you can purchase in $1,000 in US. That means purchasing power of rupees 20,000 in India is equal to purchasing power of $1,000 in US. That means rupees 20 is equal to $1. That means whatever rupees 20 can purchase in India, the same items can be purchased in US in $1. So purchasing power of $1 in US is equal to purchasing power of rupees 20 in India. So this becomes your PPP exchange rate. Now what will you do to calculate PPP exchange rate? You take a basket of commodities in both the countries, compare the prices, whatever you will get, that is PPP exchange rate. So this rupees 20 is equivalent to $1. This can be written as rupees 20 per dollar or $1/20 per rupees. Now I have already told you that everywhere we take the standard foreign currency with respect to domestic currency. So we will take $1/20 per rupees. So basically PPP exchange rate, it will be, what we are doing is foreign currency with respect to domestic currency. So abroad upon domestic. Abroad price upon domestic price. See, what we have done is, we have compared the prices of the basket here and here. This is the price of the basket in India. This is the price of the basket in US. So what we have done, price of the basket in US $1,000 divided by price of the basket in India rupees 20,000. So this has come $1/20 per rupees. So whenever you will divide abroad price upon domestic price, whatever you will get, that is basically PPP exchange rate. So this becomes $0.05 per rupees. You can write it as $0.05 per rupees. Fine. Now let's move on to the third exchange rate. There are three kinds of exchange rates. Third is, to calculate third exchange rate, let me just briefly tell you. Let me take an example. Suppose this is India, this is US, and our exchange rate is $1 is equal to rupees 80. $1 is equal to rupees 80. Fine. Or alternatively, we write it as $0.0125 per rupees. Right? This is written as, the standard format is this one. Fine. Here the burger price is rupees 40. Here the burger price is $1. Now see, India, US, this is the nominal exchange rate. Burger price, the same burger is being produced in India, the same burger is being produced in US. Here the price is rupees 40, here the price is $1. Now do you think that trade will happen? Do you think trade will happen between India and US or not? See, how to calculate. In $1 you are getting one burger in US. In $1 you can get 80 rupees. And in 80 rupees you can get two burgers from India. So you will try to purchase from India. In $1 you are getting just one burger in US, but in $1 you can get 80 rupees, and in 80 rupees you can get two burgers from India. That's why you will try to purchase from India. So in this case, India is exporting. When India is exporting, we say that India's trade is more competitive. What do you mean by competitive? Competitive means our product is cheaper with the same quality. If the product price is less, then we say that our product is competitive. So let us calculate trade competitiveness of US with respect to India. Trade competitiveness, trade competitiveness of US with respect to India. Now, what do you think? Trade, whether trade will happen between India and US will depend on what factors? It will depend on the price in the domestic market, the price in the abroad market, and this exchange rate. For example, suppose this price increases. Now, if this price increases, will India's trade become more competitive, or will US trade will become more competitive? If the price of the Indian products is increasing, that means India's trade will become less competitive and US trade will become more competitive, right? So, if this price increases, that means US trade will become more competitive. That means it is directly proportional domestic price. So, if domestic price increases, US trade will become more competitive, right? Now, think about this price, abroad price. This is abroad price. If this price will increase, US trade will become less competitive. If any product's price increases, their trade will become less competitive. So, this is inversely proportional. This is inversely proportional. Now, think about this. See, if this number is increasing, suppose this number increases to 160. What does it mean? In $1 you will get 160, in 160 you will get 4 burgers. So, you will try to purchase much more from India. So, if this increases, India's trade is becoming more competitive. India's trade is becoming more competitive. Now, if this number increases, India's trade is becoming more competitive. Now, think of this number. If this number will increase, then this number will decrease. So, when this number is decreasing, India's trade is becoming more competitive. That means, if this number will increase, US trade will become more competitive. That means, US trade competitiveness is directly proportional to the nominal exchange rate. Try to understand. Right now, you are getting $0.0125 in 1 rupee. If you will get more dollars, per rupees, then you will try to purchase from US. And if you are trying to purchase from US, that means US trade is becoming more competitive. That's why I am saying US trade competitiveness is directly proportional to this exchange rate. If this is increasing, US trade competitiveness will increase. This is called real exchange rate of US with respect to India. And this is basically equal to NER divided by, now this term domestic price upon abroad price, if this you will bring it here, it will become abroad upon domestic, abroad price upon domestic price. And see, abroad price upon domestic price, what does it mean? It means PPP exchange rate. Abroad price upon domestic price is PPP exchange rate. So, here we can write as a real exchange rate is equal to nominal exchange rate upon PPP. Fine? Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to tell you. This is real exchange rate of India. This is real exchange rate of India expressed as how many dollars per rupees. This is real exchange rate of India abroad with respect to domestic. If this is increasing, if real exchange rate of India is increasing, that means US trade is becoming more competitive. Try to understand one thing. If something is appreciating, that means it is becoming less competitive. If something is appreciating means its value is increasing. Its value is increasing means it is becoming less competitive. This represents trade competitiveness of US with respect to India. Right? So this is the real exchange rate of India, which represents US trade competitiveness with India. If this number means real exchange, if it is increasing, you will say that India's real exchange rate is appreciating. And when India's real exchange rate will appreciate, that means India's trade will become less competitive and US trade will become more competitive. Because trade competitiveness of any country is inversely proportional to its exchange rate. If rupee is appreciating, rupee's trade will become less competitive. So, the real exchange rate of India will tell about that if this number is increasing, rupee is appreciating and rupee's trade is becoming less competitive. That means US trade is becoming more competitive. So, real exchange rate tells about the trade competitiveness. Fine. So, this was all about the three exchange rates. The only suggestion to you is always follow the standard abroad with respect to domestic. You will never do any question wrong. And one more thing that you need to focus is whenever exchange rate appreciates, that means it is becoming costly, and when it is becoming costly, that means its trade is becoming less competitive. Okay. So, there are a lot of things going on in exchange rate. So, you should understand this question. This is very relevant for your prelims exam also. So, just keep it in mind. Thank you.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.